Okay, so the meeting of the Lower Housing Partnership for 4 o'clock on October 21st is started. We do have a quorum. And the first order of business is approval of the minutes of the September 30th meeting. So I did send them out this morning. Maybe folks had a chance. Thank you again, Susan, for doing that.
Gary, are you sending to my gmail.com address?
Oh, did I not change it?
I don't think so.
My apologies. I even have a note to myself to do that.
Sharon, from now on, when I get things, I'll just forward them to you.
At gmail.com, not Verizon.
Gmail.com.
Thank you.
My apologies.
No worries.
Would you like me to put them on the screen, or I can read them very quickly?
Whatever, it works for me. I wasn't at the meeting, so.
Oh, all right. So they're very quick minutes, and if there are any questions other than getting it to the right person, seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the minutes of Thursday, September 30th.
Thank you, Judy. Is there a second?
Second.
Very good. They've been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. The next order of business is really a lovely thing. And again, Sharon, my apologies for not. Are you at your computer, Susan?
I am at my computer.
Would you send Stephen's email that I sent you to Sharon so she could take a look at it?
I'm scared to use my computer that I'll lose the whole meeting, but I can do it from my iPhone.
I can do it after the meeting, but anyway.
I can do it.
So here, let me summarize what the email says, is that Stephen Russell, who was the leader of the Housing Angels entertainment and storytelling portion of the program last year, or this year, has made a proposal to us for next summer. And that is that his band, which is the Narrowland String Band, have been together for 40 years. And so he would like to propose that they celebrate their 40 years together in a fundraiser for housing.
Nice.
I don't want to speak for everyone, but it seems like it would be a wonderful thing for us to do to build on the success of last year's Housing Angel program. How do others feel?
Totally agree.
And it was going to be, the first half will be other bands that are friends of the Narrowland String Band, and then the second half will be the band itself.
And the Narrowland String Band is Stephen, Rick Arnaldi, Daniel Levine, and Dick Morrow.
And are we, maybe we're not doing stories, but are we allowed to like intersperse with, you know,
I definitely
good news and requests?
Exactly right. So I think we need to build our housing awareness and fundraising around that. So both at the outset, perhaps before the end of the first, at the beginning of the second, et cetera. We will.
I think we actually, as we start to think about it, should have more directed pleas for fundraising. I think this is really about raising money and awareness. But I think last year we didn't want to overdo, put our hands out, and I have a feeling there's potential to get a lot more money.
Well, so
Amazing.
So two things. Stephen proposed that we charge $40 next year for tickets. So it was 40 for 40, 40 years together, $40 admission. But I was going to propose that we set a target of raising $40,000. We've got a whole year to come up with plans, but how do people feel about that?
I think
Is it achievable?
it's aspirational.
Yeah,
I like that.
Susan?
So I have, when I thought about 40 by 40, I mean, I love the idea because I know what it means. But if we put that out there as the title, no one's going to know what we're talking about. Right? I mean,
Well,
we have to figure out a way to make it clear. That could be like the subtitle or something that says this is for housing and this is what we're doing.
right.
Housing Angels Presents.
Well, more than housing, more than it just being for housing, but that how do we, I think Susan is absolutely right. How do we capture people's attention and make their hearts go pitter patter as well as their pocketbooks? So I think that's the challenge for us.
And we have a long time to think about it.
We do, but do we want to make this a fundraising event? Last year, with a lot of effort on a few people's part, we raised about 15,000, give or take.
We raised a little more than that.
Yeah, but something in that maybe it was between 15 and 18.
Well, I mean, I know of a 10 and a 5. That's why.
You are right. We had a 10, so we are closer to 20. Actually, we're probably over 20.
Yay.
So that's pretty decent.
That's pretty
For the
decent
first
without, right. But in other fundraising efforts I've been involved with is that people have to take some personal responsibility for, not that we have to divide 40 by 9 people, but if everybody takes it on themselves to find $3,000, then the ticket sales and the other things will probably take us over the top. So it's something like that. Yes, Sharon.
Is it worth reaching out to that woman who bought a couple of my buttons and works at the Mayo Clinic as a foundation, development person?
Sure. I think it doesn't hurt. I think if we can really get those, that would be great.
She
So,
offered her services.
right.
Is she a Wellfleet person?
She just
Some-
bought a second home on Nahat Bluff.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely.
And she was, she's a big time foundation person for Mayo Clinic.
Right.
That's what she does, but she also raises a lot of money for Habitat and a number of other good causes. And she volunteered to talk to us. I would be interested maybe in talking to her with someone else or a small, committee or whatever, rather than just myself, especially right now, because I'm like over my head with this house thing, but.
I'd be happy to talk to her.
So
With you. I mean,
yeah.
Development is an art and a skill, and
Right.
Absolutely.
it would be great to have someone with some expertise.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll reach out to you and maybe we can get together for coffee or something
Good.
and plan our questions. And
Is she just a summer person, do you know, or?
it's, I'm not sure. It was unclear anyway.
I think the answer, when I spoke to her, I think that was yes, Sharon.
We could have a Zoom meeting with her anytime.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
I mean, I think she may be migrating towards doing more from here on Zoom, but I'm not sure about that.
So I think I'd like to challenge people to come back at our next meeting with their idea of how we could raise, and put a number on it, but $3,000 to $5,000. In the past, just to throw out some, we have solicited things to auction off. And you buy a lottery ticket. If we got a substantial prize or substantial offering, then maybe we could have a lottery where a ticket costs $100 or $50 or something. There's
Maybe
also,
we could get a few second homeowners to auction off a week in their house.
yeah, that would be worth a lot of. I wonder Oh, I even have somebody in mind. But I think that would be terrific. And it would also, it would kind of make it full circle that,
Mhm.
that they're being part of the solution as opposed to just being part of the problem. I wonder if we could reach out to the what's
Non-resident.
no longer called the non-resident homeowners. What is it called now?
Seasonal.
Seasonal people who might be willing to do that. I could ask Carl if he has any suggestions along that line. Other people,
We
The
might be
other-
able to offer a week at our Lieutenant Island home.
so think on that. Are there other, one year we got, I didn't even know who this was at the time, but there was a guy named Tony Hawk, who's apparently the world's foremost skateboarder.
Yeah.
And one of our members, who's no longer with us, sadly, somehow got Tony Hawk to donate a skateboard, and it was a huge subject of
Wow.
of interest amongst the younger people in town.
The other thing we've done at Preservation Hall, there are people in Wellfleet who have warm houses, winter warm houses. And
Yep,
a
right.
couple times we've
Oh, I
we've
just,
auctioned off a week in, San Miguel in February.
right.
Huh.
Oh, I just talked to someone who is a housing supporter who has a house in British Columbia,
Oh,
who lives in Wellfleet. So I would
I
just,
might bid on that.
yeah, I was gonna say, they just came back from salmon fishing.
Dang.
That's a wonderful idea. Judy, you want to do a quilt?
Sure.
We did a quilt one year that was very successful. So we could have multiple items. And the question is whether we do a lottery or whether we do an auction. An auction, we need an auctioneer.
but we don't, this sounds like a fairly long program. I'm not sure there's going to be, depending on how much time it would take.
Yeah,
Well, and also I'm not sure the same people will be at the event. It should definitely be broader than at the event, that you have the chance to bid on these things, like an
Okay.
online auction or
yeah.
something.
Yes. On our newsletter and our newly designed website, and
Okay. So,
in the newspaper.
do you think round 2 of the buttons would be good, Sharon, or no?
Well, okay, so, before I put the buttons, I mean, they didn't sell all that much, but before I put them out there this spring, I had conversations with Susie Nielsen, who owns Farm Project is her gallery.
Mhm.
And she was pretty excited about maybe the possibility of doing something larger scale next summer. And maybe we could rope her into this idea somehow. And, really, Ann Suggs is also good at fun, thinking about fundraising. So, but I like the idea of a larger exhibit and maybe some.
Oh,
All
beautiful.
right, I bid $100.
200.
It's just the top. I have to get it finished, but I do have something.
Oh,
Beautiful.
terrific.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Judy. All right. So reach out to your friends and colleagues and neighbors. Think about this. And at our next meeting, we'll try to put some structure on it. Susan has gotten us a date at Pres Hall, and that is August 4th, which I think, if I remember correctly, is a Tuesday?
I think it's a Thursday. I think
Thursday.
maybe
Okay,
for some
Thursday.
reason Stephen said Thursdays. I'm not 100% sure, but I think.
He said, right, he said the last week of July, first week of.
Oh, right. So maybe, yeah.
Did we send him
Oh, I
that?
know. I think maybe between Vanessa and I, we said Thursday because people tend to come down for the weekend on Thursday. So we get a long weekend.
Right. So this, I'm assuming this would be another 5 o'clock-ish event?
I think that was a good time.
I think so
That
too.
worked really well for me.
And
So-
Gary,
Yes.
hi.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi again. Sorry, I've been missing a lot of these meetings lately, but I'm still
No-
on.
No problem,
And
Elizabeth.
season slowing down. So, but I wanted to say too, we've been donating a lot of oyster tours for our farm for our
So-
for auction items and stuff like
Right.
that. So, you know, so we take people out on the farm and we have a nice little tour and pair it with wine and chuck some oysters up for them out there. And people love that. So
Oh, that
we'd
would
be happy to
that would be
Yeah.
fabulous. I
be
think,
happy to do something like that too.
Great.
I think that would be super.
Okay, great. And I'll keep in mind, I'll put the word out there too. I think I already have some things in mind. So it's great. Good ideas for sure.
Maybe somebody has a friend with a sailboat. We could do an auction off a sailboat, you know, a sunset cruise kind of thing. So again,
Maybe
Nice,
we can
yeah.
get John Wolf to do it.
who?
There you go.
John Wolf.
Oh, John Wolf. I don't know him well enough to ask, but
Well, he's a select board member. He should be.
yeah, I
behind-
was gonna say, and he's a sailor.
Oh, he has a business of I mean, you can't just sort of idly take people out on the harbor for money. You know, you have to be a captain.
Oh, is that right?
And he's a captain and he does that.
All
He
right.
he has a business of taking people out in the harbor.
So, and there's another woman who it's her husband, I think. I'm blocking on her name, but she's on the Preservation Hall board and she's a realtor. Her name, I think, is Eva or Ava. But anyway, she and her husband have a catamaran and they do sunset sales on that. And I might ask her if she would donate.
Right.
one.
Yeah.
I don't mind asking John Wolf. I mean, the worst he can do is, but with enough advance notice, it's hard for anyone to say no. I'm already tied up on August 4th. So,
Well, we wouldn't want them to go out on August 4th, but
no. But the idea is on August, we have to think of the mechanism that we're going to do this, whether it's
yeah.
lottery or whether it's auction, and you know, how we would deliver it and how we would integrate it into this program.
Yeah.
So, you know, online auctions, I think people have gotten much
Yeah.
more into, especially during COVID, and it could be online auction with a, you know, sort of final chance at the end to bid more or something.
Right. I will tell you that we have a meeting next Wednesday with a web developer to redo our website and to look at donations. But, you know, the idea of online auctions, not something I even thought about. So if we incorporate that into our design features, maybe we could make it an annual kind of thing.
Yeah, it's worth asking the developer about.
I also think if we could come up with, like, this money is going to be used to build a house for a shellfisherman, or I don't know the right answer to that yet. But if we, you know, giving to housing in general is good. Giving to housing for Susie is much better.
Housing in general is kind of a bottomless pit.
Exactly right. I think we need to focus what it is we are doing.
And, you know, if we could be so lucky as to have some land by then, and, you know, it could be.
Oh, that would be right. But, and remember that the money that we raise from fundraising is not limited by AMI, whereas most of the money, like the money that is for the Payne Hollow, is for under 80% of average income.
What if we, just throwing this out because you know my soapbox, what if we said we were raising money to support the development of ADUs?
Sure. I mean, that might be a possibility. Maybe we're going to give a grant to somebody.
But again, it would be great if we had someone who had some land and was willing to do an ADU. I just think the more
Yeah.
concrete, the better.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think we're all saying the same thing. If we can
I
think
by then
about
we
what
might have a
structure,
resource group.
I'm sorry, Sharon.
I said, I think by then we might have a list of people who are interested in building ADUs and
Right.
build a resource group. That's one of my goals, kind of.
Maybe we could do something with SPAT. And we could, for the shellfishing and, build a house for a shellfisherman or something.
Right.
Build an ADU or,
Anyway.
yeah,
we
think
can kind of-
about this. Think about the specificity of what our appeal is going to be. And we will come up with that. Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna have to leave for now, but I'll be back again soon, Gary. So
thank you,
and
Elizabeth.
everyone, good to be
Thank-
back and good to see
We have a
everyone.
date
Good to
next
see
week.
you.
Thanks,
Say hi
Elizabeth.
to the kitties.
I will. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, so I sense enthusiasm for this. We will move forward with putting this together. We have enough time to do it right this year and think about how we incorporate it and how we actually structure this appeal. And for that matter, how we title it. But I think it's a wonderful offer on Stephen's part. Everyone is enthusiastic about doing this? Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I think this is a great example of what local housing partnership should be doing.
Yes, I agree.
And Gary, we should probably get together with Stephen sometime soon, just to have this kind of conversation. And Sharon, you two, if you can
Mhm.
squeeze the time from your 17 other things.
Why don't you,
It's only
reach
one other thing.
Okay.
Sure. since you're here, why don't you reach out to him? I'm pretty sure Stephen is going to go away this winter, is what I hear. So we should do it before January. And I can't remember, Susan, did we tell him the August 4th date or not?
Yes, and he was going to tell the people in the band. So
Okay,
I will email him after we meet and, let him know we talked about it today and we'd love to get together.
yeah, in the next couple of weeks and sit down and try and flesh it out.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Anything else on this? I wanted to let you know that in Wellfleet, there is something, hold on to your hats. There is something called the Policy on Policies.
I heard that the other night.
So, where is it 1984 or Brave New World where they have the newspeak? But
Gary,
yes,
unfortunately, that's actually common in hospitals.
oh, is that right?
Yes, that they will have a policy about policies so that all the policies look the same.
Well, in this case, we made a request for the short-term rental tax to be used for housing. So the select board, which individually they all support it, but collectively actually doing it seems to be because this started in March now, so we're at the end of October, but supposedly they have to go through the Policy on Policies procedure, and they have to send out a request to all of the committees and departments in town to comment on the policy of giving the short-term rental tax to housing.
Okay, that's worse than a hospital. I just want to put that out there.
But didn't they pass something the other night about it?
No, they passed sending it to the Policy on Policies.
Oh, the article in the paper was misleading.
Yes, so
Well-
yes, it's very frustrating because we could really use that money because we are looking at land, but be that as it may.
This is off topic, but how much does the trust have now from the CDP money and other money?
It's interesting you asked that question. We continue to ask, even though we have a meeting a town meeting on December 4th to finalize the budget and the finances of the town, but we haven't gotten a straight answer. But to give you a ballpark figure, in the old trust, there was approximately $200,000. There was a CPA grant of $500,000 to fund the new trust. Of that, $200,000 was committed to the current buy down. So there is a remainder of that CPA grant of approximately $300,000. There is also the COVID relief fund. This was the money that was left, not left over, but not committed yet on that the town had gotten for COVID relief. And they had voted to give that to the Trust for Housing. And I believe that that number is approximately $140,000. So if you said that we have on the order of $600,000 available to the trust from various sources, that's about what it is.
But we can't spend it.
We can't spend it. We can't even put our fingers on it. So, but soon, hopefully we will. But to answer the question, how much money is in the trust, it's about that.
So, I mean, it's conceivable that a piece or two of land could be purchased.
Correct, it's conceivable.
Once we can get our hands on it.
Right. And once we can find the land.
I'll share with you the frustration at the last trust meeting was there was a piece of land that became available on the order of 6 acres. And we're just not in a position to move it, in anywhere near how fast the market is moving to make an offer, let alone to actually consummate the purchase of a piece of land. So we really have to solidify our finances to see if we can't move more quickly. Okay, so I'm just reporting on the policy and policies that the request for the short-term rental tax has been continued. We had approved the change in the CPC housing needs to move from passing an ADU to supporting an ADU program. And we put that forward to the CPC. The hearing is now scheduled for January 11th in front of the select board. Not if you can make it, great.
Hearing for what?
This is the public hearing for the Community Preservation
Oh, okay.
Committee.
Yeah.
About what should we be spending CPC money on, CPA money on, which again is on the order of $700,000 a year or more. And so that hearing, which is at the select board meeting on January 11th.
And the request is to use it for.
Right. There's 4 areas you can use that money for. Open space.
Right.
And open space should be reviewing that, John, if they haven't already, their needs list.
Mhm.
Recreation, historical, and housing. And
But
housing.
housing's going to indicate the need around ADUs. Did I hear you say that, or I misunderstood?
No, we have a list of needs that I sent out last time. I'm happy to share it with you again, Susan. But the one change we made from last year to this year, last year it said pass an ADU bylaw. This year it says programs to support the creation of ADUs. So that's the one change we made. The other things on it are 95 Lawrence and.
Right.
and
No,
Freeman.
I remember the list.
Right. So, okay, any questions on that? Okay, we had said we would have a planning session with Mass Housing Partnership to work on our mission statement and goals for next year. And we had scheduled one for December 16th. I got an email from them saying that they request that we do it at 3 o'clock rather than 4 o'clock.
December 15th?
16th is what I have. Is that a Thursday?
16.
So I'll double check it now, but if that's okay with everybody, can we please change it to 3 o'clock on this? Yes, Thursday's December 16th
Okay,
at 3 o'clock.
that's fine
Okay,
for me.
very good. And I think we'd like to participate with, the suggestion was that we participate with the Housing Trust and the Housing Authority in a joint meeting to really talk about what's the key objectives for 2022. What can we really accomplish in the coming year?
And did you mean that would be at that same meeting?
I think that would probably be separate from that.
Right.
But so we would have one large meeting with other participants in the housing area to say, you know, what will be our key focus. So, and next year, you know, we have to think about what it is, whether that's ADU, whether that's community housing, whatever it may be.
In some ways, it would be good if that could occur before the December 16th meeting. But I guess the mission statement is broader than just next year. So,
right. I think this is more about the mission statement is looking forward 5-10 years. What you know,
right. No,
in the future. This is really what do we want to focus on? What can we accomplish in 2022 in terms of meaningful progress on housing? Okay. Anything else? And I'll give you some updates and please chime in, everybody. But 95 Lawrence, we have been moving at a snail's pace right now because there's a component of it that we have to have a financial analysis of the bids. And it has been difficult to find someone available to do it. We have found someone and we have contracted with them. So once we have that financial analysis, we can complete our evaluation and make our recommendation to the select board, which I believe now is likely to be mid-November.
Gary, excuse me, do you have the financial person on board and starting to work on this, or?
Yes, is the answer.
Okay,
Don,
thank you.
are you volunteering for that, or?
I am not.
Well, I was going to say, we'd be happy. It was
Oh,
like,
no, you have somebody, right?
yes, we have someone.
Okay, good.
The person is a part-time resident of Wellfleet, which is
Okay.
the only way I think we cajoled them into actually doing it. For whatever reason, as I said, there's a lot of money right now available for housing, and there's a lot of activity in that area. So, yeah, it's hard to find someone.
Okay.
I wish I could remember her name, but I will let you know. Okay, so that is moving forward towards a mid-November recommendation to the select board. The buy down person is desperately looking for a house. If you know of anything, hear of anything, know of anybody who wants to sell one a little less than market rate.
Gary, do you know what size of a house she's looking for and how much she can spend?
I think they have 3 kids. So at least a 3-bedroom. And I think that if I remember correctly, don't hold me to this, Sharon, but it's in the 415, 425.
For 3-bedroom, yeah.
Yeah, that's the upper.
Around there.
The limit is set by DHCD of what we can allow for the price to still be affordable. And obviously that they're looking at a statewide number and we're looking at the reality of Wellfleet. So that's the challenge. But
it sort of has to be someone who's willing to
yeah,
sell their house for less than they could get on the open market.
the last one, the people, I don't know so much, it was below market slightly, but it was also, they were willing to, you know, take a long time and jump through all the hoops related to the bureaucracy of doing it. So, yeah. But if you hear of anything, there is a woman named Ann Robinson at CDP, and she is the administrator of the program. So you can let me know or Ann know. I will tell you that there are 2 RFPs that are about to be issued for housing. The first one is for Freeman Avenue. So that's the half-acre lot off of Sequested by Summit that the town gave to the Housing Authority a couple years ago. And we're now issuing an RFP, and it's for one house, to build one house there. So it should be issued in the next week or 2. I think we all are considering maybe that the same people will respond to this as responded to previous ones, and maybe even incorporate it into other projects that they have here in Wellfleet.
Jerry, you mean someone like Habitat? Is that?
Someone like Habitat, exactly right. Without mentioning any names.
Right.
But it's open to anyone, so we don't know who will respond. The second RFP is for land acquisition. And that it has gone to Rebecca Slick, who's the town assistant administrator, and will be going to town council, and hopefully will be issued within the next 30 days. And basically what it says is the town wants to buy some land on the commercial market. If you're interested, let us know.
So this one will be issued by the town, and the Freeman Road will be issued by that housing authority?
It's actually issued by the town / housing authority together. The one for the land will be issued by the trust in the name of the town.
Got it.
The town, this would be, well, it actually isn't limited, but I think the goal would be to look at multi-acre plots of land. Yes, Sharon.
No, I decided it's not appropriate.
You could say it. We're all friends.
No, it should be like in more of an executive session or something. I'll
Okay.
run it past you.
All right, right. If anyone knows of anyone who has multiple acres of land who might be interested,
Don't
definitely
say it here.
don't say it here, but you could certainly let me know or let Harry Takani know, or yes. So let us know. But anyway, that should be coming out in the next 30 days or so. I think that's, anybody else have anything on updates? All right. So I wanted to mention that first-time home buyers, CDP is getting out of that business in the short term. And so there is something called NeighborWorks. NeighborWorks, just the way it sounds. You go online and they have, it's the South Shore CDP, and they have a lot of programs for first-time home buyers, including the first-time home buyers training program, education program. The last thing is, someone asked me, do we have any interest in looking at promoting an inclusionary bylaw? I know, Judy, you have, right, this has been around for a long time, but I don't mind doing it if it's really going to produce something, but I don't want to spin our wheels on stuff that isn't productive.
Could you explain what that is?
Sure. Judy, you want to explain?
Oh, gosh, it's been years since I gave up on this. I probably tried 3 times going before the planning board.
Okay, so basically what if someone is going to do a subdivision, and if it's more than X number of units, and I don't think the number of units has been determined, but let's just say for the sake of argument, it's more than 6. Then at least one of the homes has to be affordable, for each 6 units that you develop.
Huh.
Is that essentially it, Judy?
Yes, and what they said to me basically was that in Wellfleet, we sell off the land and then each person builds their house, that it's not a developer who does, a subdivision. And so they said it was useless. It wouldn't produce anything.
Yeah.
But
That
is
was their answer.
is there that much land in one place?
Well, that's the whole point. Is it a
There used to be.
Yeah,
right? But and in places, in bigger places, inclusionary bylaw is an important thing. I mean, if you're producing 40 or 50 units a year in your subdivision, then 10% of those would be 4 or 5 units. So that's a meaningful number. I don't know if it's true in Wellfleet how many we would have and how many would qualify. They could also give money as well as
Yeah.
development, right?
I know there was a development in Truro where they set aside one of the lots for an affordable home.
Right.
You remember that? But that's not because they have a bylaw that I know of. That was the owner of the land made that decision that they would set aside one of those lots for an affordable home.
Is there a carrot? In other words, can they build an extra, so don't we already have something where they're allowed to build an extra house or something as long as it's affordable? An extra over what they would have been zoned for?
Right, that's a different thing. That's a quote unquote bonus. A zoning bonus, but this is specifically designed for subdivision developments.
Mhm.
But well, think on it. There's no rush. If you think it's worthwhile, I'd entertain the effort, but only if you think it's worthwhile.
I'd rather go for multifamily housing.
Yeah,
I think so.
right. Well, okay. So the question is, do anything else that people have that they want to bring up? Do you think we should have a November meeting to discuss our summer plans, or can we wait? Because remember, December meeting is going to be the meeting with a Mass Housing Partnership to talk about mission and objectives.
Did I miss a previous conversation in the housing partnership about discussing our mission and our goals?
You may have, Sharon. We did redefine our
Okay.
objectives, and I'm happy to send them to you. And
Okay.
I've shared them with MHB. I probably sent it to your other email.
And the conversation around what our goals for 2022 might be?
Well, that
more
would be
specific
one.
goals?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Sharon.
No, would that be a later meeting after the December meeting?
I would think so. This would not be the partnership in isolation, but the 3 housing groups together.
The December 15th.
No, the setting the goal for 2020.
Oh, okay. Well, should we have a conversation among ourselves before that meeting?
We can. That's what I'm asking. Is it worth it to have a November meeting? And maybe the answer is yes.
I mean, that might be an agenda item that I would
Yeah.
be interested.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if that's the case, then the next meeting, obviously that Thursday, the 25th, is sort of taken up. So do you want to meet on the 18th?
Works for me.
Anybody else? November 18th at 4 o'clock, Thursday, November 18th.
Okay,
And if we've got that on an agenda item, then it'd be good to be thinking in terms of, what might be some concrete goals
Yeah.
to put
So-
forward.
So the focus of this meeting would be goal setting and Susan, you'll have to come up with a better name, but for lack of it, right now, the 40 for 40 planning.
Those will be the two things. There's a chance I won't be able to make that meeting. My son and grandson are visiting and I just have to juggle their schedules. So if I can't, I will enlist an alternate minute.
Do you want to suggest a different day? We could do
Well,
it.
I mean, the trouble is that's the month
Right.
is over. I mean, the next Thursday is Thanksgiving. They're going to be here that whole week before.
I don't think there's anything magical about, so we could do it December 2nd. Is that better?
That would definitely be better for me.
Is anyone who's on the call now, I may have any feeling about that?
Fine with me.
So we'd have two December meetings, one on the 2nd, one on the 16th. But the second would be more internal meeting. The 16th is with MHP.
And
Yeah, that
Gary,
would be great.
yeah, I have another question. When were you meeting with the web page designer? And is that a conversation that the housing partnership should be thinking about?
I think we have to find out what we can do, and then we're going to come back to us. So maybe we'll put that on the agenda.
Yeah.
But the answer to your question, Sharon, is it's the CDP meeting next Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Okay, I
But
will
then-
try to make that one. I haven't been very good.
It's with Barbara Woodbury.
Yeah, I looked at her website. Looked nice.
The website designer has a nice website.
Yes,
She's a Wellfletian, and she has a good website, and did she do Press Hall?
I think the name sounded so familiar to me that I think
I
maybe she
think
has.
she may have done Press Hall,
Yeah.
but she
she did
did,
Ira Wood and Marge Piercy.
and she did the Fleet Fund. But anyway, we'll put that on the agenda.
Sharon, what is your Gmail address exactly?
Rule, RULE dot AGGERS @gmail.com.
Rule.agers, plural?
Yeah. Rule.agar-s. So for reference, David's is rule.agar-d.
Oh, I see. It's not multiple agars. It's.
Yeah.
All right, my apologies for not using that.
Well, I confused everybody.
All right, it's coming up on 5 o'clock, and I promised we would be out here in an hour, so.
Dang, you're good.
Good job.
No. Is there anything else anyone would like to raise? Then
have
I
a lot-
entertain.
I thought, it's good.
Yes. Honestly, I think we do have good things happening. And I
Yeah.
think the partnership is alive and well, so
I
it's
agree.
it's reassuring. Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Excellent. Second. All those in
Second.
favor, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Go
I,
out and enjoy the rest of this beautiful day, guys. Thank you so much, and we will be in touch.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Gary.
Bye.
Gary,
Yes.
you were asking me to email Stephen, is that right?
Yes, I think since you're here less frequently.
So I'm here. The trouble is I never quite know in advance, but I do know that I'm going to be here through next Wednesday. So, and Sharon,
Why don't we just pick a time to meet?
I mean, anytime next Wednesday, that's the 28th, that would be the
Right.
27th.
So why don't we see if I can do it Monday morning, not in the afternoon, or Tuesday after 1 o'clock.
And what about Wednesday?
Wednesday, I have that 10 o'clock meeting and I'm free after that. So Wednesday after 11:30.
Okay. And Sharon, what about you?
I'm around. I won't be around much this weekend, but after that, I am around.
Well, we're talking about Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next week, Sharon,
Yeah, so, and what is that for? To meet about what?
to meet with
Um,
Stephen Russell.
With Stephen about the plans
Oh,
for,
yeah, just tell me a time and I'll leave my project house and.
We could even, there's just the three of us, we could have a in-person meeting.
yeah, it'll be hopefully four of us.
Yes, hopefully four of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, no, I'm always happy to do it in my living room unless it's nice enough to sit on my deck or anywhere else anyone wants to do it.
Right, it's supposed to actually get cold again, a cold for the first time, so. But yes, that'd be fine. I'm happy to come to
Okay.
your place or wherever. So.
Okay, so did we decide a time or no?
No,
Well, I'm
we
gonna
did-
consult-
well, we
I'll
have to see
consult
when
with
Stephen
Stephen.
is. Yeah, Stephen is
Okay.
available. So the possibilities are Monday morning, Tuesday afternoon, or let's say Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, and I'll ask him about those, which of those three would be best.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds good.
Sounds
I
good.
think he is wonderful to be doing this. I think it's a terrific idea.
No, I mean, I think
It was-
it's gonna have a more instant grab than last year where people, weren't quite sure
And
what
it's
is
right,
the
they're scratching their
storytelling.
head
I mean,
saying, yeah, what is it?
this is, people know this group and like
I
it.
think, right, we should build on the Housing Angels name and idea. I think it
Absolutely.
should be Housing Angels 2 or whatever it is.
we were developing name recognition this year.
Yes, exact, branding.
Ending.
And, we might have a parcel of land by then.
We might, although we won't know much in it. Well,
I'm sort of kidding, but hopefully we'll have something concrete and, we can go from that.
Yes,
all right, I have to stop this recording.
okay.